Welcome back for another completely random and not genetically accurate Warrior Cats related video. Yes, I know, I see all the comments. I'm glad so many people still like those videos and want more, but I am but an inconsistent and hyperfixation motivated person, so wait another year and we'll see what happens. So today on the What Random Thing Will Lolling Post Next is ClanGen. This was really a long time coming because how could I not make a video about ClanGen? I actually have 2 other ClanGen projects in the works, but this one just took me by surprise, and I had to do it because of how stupid it was. To cut a long ramble short, this is speedrunning 100 moons in ClanGen. What that means is that I will be trying to get through 100 moons in ClanGen as fast as I can, and spoiler alert, as fast as I can was about 1 hour and 20 minutes roughly. And speedrunning does not just mean hitting the next moon button as much as I can, but as well as that, I had to make sure I sent out patrols every single moon, and that's pretty much all else I had to do. If I had any mediators, I would mediate as well, though my mediators kept dying pretty much immediately. And generally, I would try to keep up with the clan drama, though obviously because of the quick pace of this game, I miss a lot of little details. Also, I antagonize the hell out of the other clans, for funsies. So let me throw you into the start. Cut to me of the past. So I'm just going to start this off, just calling it SpeedrunClan, because that's the goal of the game. So I guess I'm not really going to be picky about who I choose then, because I assume in 100 moons, most of these guys will probably be dead, maybe except for little Sap Kit. So we're going to go ahead and pick our leader. This is definitely the prettiest of the cats. Pond. I like Pondstar, so we're just gonna go Pondstar. She's a young adult, playful learner of lore. She'll be leader then. Go ahead. Since this cat is pretty, I'm gonna make them the deputy. 'Cause the prettier you are, the more I'm gonna like you. And then, I mean, Lavender is in the name. I think that'll be a good medicine cat. A great teacher, you know, climb trees. And then more cats. I like this design is fun and would be horrible to draw. So I'm gonna pick. She's bloodthirsty, never sit still. So I'm gonna pick Straw Paw. And I guess I've got a lot of young warriors here. Not a lot of young warriors, just young cats. I'll go Tricklestock, because that's a fun name. And I'll go Springclaw. And then I will go Rootpaw. I don't know how many do I have left? I'm not counting. I will go Stoat Howl, because why you got that scar. And Prophecy Seeker, that's fun. I'm stuck between the 2 kits, really. I think I'm gonna go for Sap Kit. And then I guess I'll take Curlew Flood. I don't know what a Curlew is, but you know, whatever. We don't care. I'm gonna choose a random one. Okay, that's a fancy one. I'm gonna random again. I'm gonna just random until yeah, this is good. What is this? The Grotto? Never been here before. And then we'll start in Leaf Bear, because why wouldn't we start in Leaf Bear? Right, here we go. So first things first, I'm gonna just look at the list real quick. 42, 59, 31, 109, 95, 11, 8, 152, 35. Okay, I think it's a good range. Okay, just looking at all that, and then, so I think what I'm gonna do is for every moon, I'm obviously gonna get through patrols. Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna go make sure that in settings, do I have? Yeah, I have mass extinctions on. Okay. So I am, for every moon, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of cats in patrol, and just see what happens. And remove you. And that's about all I'm going to do. A hare. It's a nice hare drawing. Catch it. There we go. I'm going to antagonize him because why not? We don't like StarClan here. And that's the first moon. Done. I don't even know any of the cats. We're just going. Fluff joins the clan. Sappaw is an apprentice. Rootshade is a warrior now. That's a cool name. Cool, cool, cool. Lovely little... And we're just going to keep going. And I'm just not going to stop. Antagonize. Yep, we're just gonna move. And move we will keep doing. So if I actually played the raw 1 hour and 20 minutes footage, that would be really boring. Plus, I get tired of talking in about like 5 minutes, so the rest of it is completely silent. So instead, I'll be commentating over the important parts while ClanGen speedruns in the background. First of all, you'll see that I'm messing around with the mates screen a lot. I'm just making random pairs based on nothing to increase the likelihood of kits. The only important pairings are as follows. Pondstar and Lavender Ripple get together, and the elders Stoot Howl and Curlew Flood. Then there is Fluff with Springclaw. Fluff is one of my absolute favorites throughout this playthrough. Almost immediately, Fluff becomes pregnant with kits and gives birth to Gardenia Kit, Auburn Kit, and Mottled Kit. Don't become attached to literally any of them. Strawpaw and Sappaw become warriors named Strawspeckle and Sapdapple at some point before those kits' births, and then Stoat Howl the Elder finds a lost kit, adopts them, names them Scratch Kit, and then Stoat Howl promptly dies. I then make the mistake of saying, we'll keep an eye on Scratch Kit, you know, in return for having the adoptive parent die, we'll keep an eye on and see how they go. Yeah, don't get attached to Scratch Kid either. Oh, Scratchpaw is Straw Speckles. And Scratchpaw's died. Okay, so Scratchpaw is no longer our favorite cat anymore. That was very short-lived. Now see, if we had gotten emotionally attached to Scratchpaw, that probably would have hurt. What is... Oh yeah, Blizzard Fawn is our StarClan guide. Who even cares about the StarClan guides? I'm gonna throw... You're gonna get exiled. Just because I feel like it. Because why wouldn't I exile him? Yeah, I don't know why I exiled Scratchpaw to the Dark Forest for the crime of dying either. But we'll never think about him again. Okay. Antagonize. Would that kill the kitten? Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be that cruel. Remember these words. In other news, as you saw, Ashskip finds a lost kitten and takes them in as her own, named Mistkit. I then announced that Mistkit is the Scratchpaw replacement, and, well, Mistkit will actually live on to become a warrior named Mispelt, and he sure does a whole lot of nothing. Pondstar then proceeds to give birth to 5 kittens. Surprisingly, most of them live well into warriorhood. Only Duck Kit dies as a kit, and Honey Kit will eventually become a medicine cat named Honeyfade. And then Fluff has even more babies. 4 kittens, all who are kind of but all do survive until warriorhood. One of her first litter kits is named Mottledrump, the only survivor, and I think that is hilarious. And then Curlew Flood dies from a fox. Really, they didn't do much, but since they're a founder, you know, guess I gotta mention it. But if I mentioned every death and birth, we would be here all day. Same goes for injuries. For example, Rootshade and Sapdapple both lose their tails to dogs at some point, but I ain't keeping track of all of that. Just look at the sprites for any notable injuries. And on the same moon where Springclaw retires to the Elder's Den, Loner Prim joins the clan as Primfoot. And let me tell ya, you guys are not ready for the queen bee that is Primfoot. She is drama incarnate. First, I make her mates with Lavender Ripple, which, yes, Lavender is still mates with Pondstar, so it is a poly relationship there. Honestly, I just kind of blanked when making them mates, and I didn't think much of it, but oh boy, should I have. A bunch of apprentices become warriors, so I make Oaklash, one of Pondstar's kits, mates with good old Rootshade. This is also important and relevant to what I just said about Primfoot. While I've been going through patrols, I have been constantly antagonizing the other clans, the likes of which consist of Ant Clan, Pansy Clan, and Nimble Clan. I have also, of course, been antagonizing StarClan in hopes that they strike me down with their wrath. Alas, they never really do. Meanwhile, Tricklestock brings 2 random kittens into the clan, like we needed any more, bud. They're for sure half-clan or something, but they are actually so cute. Their names are Guppy Kit and Sunny Kit. How adorable. Hope nothing bad happens to them. On that subject, Old man Trucklestock retires. Who's gonna raise those kits for you, sir? You can't just abandon them in the nursery. And then the clan stumbles upon a loner named Burger. Burger refuses to join the clan. We will remember this, Burger. But then Fluff has more babies. I love her. She knows what she wants, and what she wants is babies. It's a litter of 3, and they all survive to warriorhood. One of them ends up named Thrift Roach, which I find hilarious. Her kids love having silly names. Ashskip the deputy also has some kittens, though apparently she doesn't like them much. But I like both of them very much. One is named Perchkit and the other is Bearkit. You are allowed to get emotionally attached to them. Meanwhile, Strawspeckle just dies. Cool design, but you did nothing. She was pretty well loved by the clan though, so they're all sad or something. I don't know. Then Guppy Kit and Sunny Kit become paws, and I shove Guppy Paw straight into the medicine cat position because we need more of those to keep the clan afloat. Very cute. Hope nothing bad happens to him. I then antagonize StarClan some more, and 2 of Fluff's full-grown kits, Whisker Rapid and Forest Fur, die. Totally unrelated, though. And then Pondstar has some more babies, competing for Fluff on who can have more kits. But unfortunately, Pondstar's looking like she'll lose, because she only gives birth to 1 kitten this time. This one is named Timber Minnow in the future. At least this one lives to adulthood. Sapdapple is also expecting kits, and has a litter of 4. Bumblecid is the only one who sort of matters from this litter. Then there's a very funny moment when Perchpaw, Ashskip's kid, hits her head against her mentor Oakclash's head accidentally, and then promptly rewards herself with some accessories. Bearpaw is also chillin', and we love them for that. Fluff then has even more babies, or actually just 1 more baby. I guess she and Pondstar are having too many kits, and the game doesn't like that. But his name is Borkit, and we love him. He is so precious. And then some random Nimble Clan cat named Mapleback joins. Generally unimportant, but she's relevant later, I guess. Like, way later. And then our lovely Sunny Paw becomes Sunnyside at 15 moons. What a cutie. I love her too. And then Bearpaw becomes Beartuft, and they realize being a she-cat isn't for them, and they come out as non-binary. I hope nothing bad happens to them. And now, at the time of playing this game, I somehow skipped it completely, but Springclaw, you know, the Elder, just straight up murders Wild Silk, one of Pondstar and Lavender Ripple's kits, and gets away with it. I guess they hated each other or something, but damn, Springclaw, why? Did Pondstar have more kits than you and you wanted to even the odds? The game says the reason was resentment and jealousy. What were you jealous of, Springclaw? You were an elder. But, I mean, hey, at least Guppy Paw is now a full medicine cat named Guppy Kick now. Guppy Kick and Sunnyside, the twins. How cute. Definitely way more important than that whole murder drama. And, speaking of drama, remember Primfoot from earlier? As Sleep Deprived Me so elegantly put it. It's a relationship drama. Well spoken, me. Yep, some good old relationship drama. Rootshade and Oakclash break up, and Primfoot and Lavender Ripple break up. Now, they don't state a reason past that Primfoot and Rootshade's love were just so much, but I like to believe that Primfoot and Rootshade were cheating on their partners for each other. Especially because of what happens later on. They might be a little mischievous. And then our beloved medicine cat Guppy Kick dies. I hope nobody was too attached to him. I did warn you after all. Even a cute name couldn't protect him. He died of green cough, and I thought you were supposed to treat that, but not catch it. Sunnyside is devastated at the death of her brother, though. Then some guy named Fuzzshade joins the clan and decides that he doesn't like how everyone else's attention is all on Guppy Kick's death, so he then proceeds to die of a broken back. Who even were you again? At this point, Fluff and Pondstar are done having kits, and the clan is starting to dwindle in terms of younger members because of it. But also, in-game, I hadn't even been paying attention to how many kits these 2 girlies were having, and I was a bit shocked when I went to check. Holy moly, that's a lot of babies! Damn. Damn indeed. Meanwhile, Primfoot gains a mangled tail from a fox, heals from it, and then immediately gets injured by a 2-leg trap. I guess this is karma for cheating on your husband and your husband's wife. And our cutie Boarpaw is now an apprentice. He is very excited for his first day. Adorable. But it seems his first day will be his last. Just kidding, he's still alive. For now. He does get a headache, though. Guess he was too excited. Then Springclaw dies. Notably, it says she was found dead with a peaceful expression on her face. I don't know what kind of peace you would find after murdering some random guy, but okay, Springclaw. Okay. You're lucky your wife Fluff doesn't know anything about this. On patrol, Thrift Roach gets hit by a car and dies. You had the silliest name. You didn't deserve this. Oh, and Cedarpaw dies too. They were Sapdapple and Mottledrump's kid, and they still weren't a warrior yet at 12 moons. Cringel fail, bro. Meanwhile, Cedarpaw's much more successful sister, Bumblepaw, earns their full medicine cat name of Bumbleslip. Loving all these cute and silly names. And then our resident sapphic drama couple, Rootshade and Primfoot, adopt some abandoned kits. This is a completely wholesome and not at all suspicious thing that they just found 3 lost kits. One of them is named Rainbow Kit, which I find particularly fitting. Unfortunately, he dies, immediately, and instead we are left with such lovely names as Aphidtooth and Crocus Fur. Maybe let's just leave the naming of kits to Fluff, guys. What even is an aphid or a crocus? Unfortunately, Fluff won't be naming any more babies as she retires to the Elder's Den. You know what, Queen? You deserve it. You don't even know that your wife was a murderer, but you deserve it. But Perchroar is here to be our next big mama with a litter of 5 kits. All very cute, and they all have very cute names, like Greymoto and Nightingalegaze. Meanwhile, Boarpaw is struggling a little to become a warrior. He's 12 moons in going, but not quite there. But at least he has Timberminnow by his side as his best friend and mate. I think it's very cute that Fluff's single litter kit and Pondstar's single litter kit get together. Completely naturally, and not all by me randomly choosing things, But then Boarpaw finally does earn their warrior name, Boarsplash, and that is just so adorable. And then Ashskip dies of a broken bone. Very nobly, she got it from trying to save a kitty pet. A kitty pet who kicked her into a tree and then died or something? The kitty pet was in a bag, so I'm not sure how or why this happened. But Ashskip is dead now, and who does Pondstar choose to be deputy instead? Rootshade. The gal who your husband's ex had an affair with. Pondstar, what are you thinking? Why would you choose the cat who got with your mate's mate? The cat who is just mysteriously finding lost litters of kits? What part of that screams trustworthy at all? Well, regardless, Rootshade is pretty happy to be deputy. I guess she's not that bad, right? Tricklestalk then decides to become a mediator. Considering there must be a lot of tension in the clan right now, I can see why. And then Beartuff dies. Their dead body is found near the NimbleClan border, and considering the fact that our clan has been repeatedly antagonizing their clan, yeah, Beartuff was totally murdered by them. Sorry, Beartuff. That's my bad. And then Tricklestalk dies too, of a snake bite. Very short-lived mediating days. Almost suspicious, in a way. What's even more suspicious is Rootshade and Primfoot find another litter of lost kittens. And I think Past Me puts this quite nicely. Rootshade and Primfoot keep finding children and adopting them, which makes me suspicious that they are murdering loners and stealing their kids. Yeah, where do you keep finding these, Primfoot and Rootshade? They don't just randomly appear. I'm not sure if they're maybe stealing from the other clans, just taking them from loners, or killing the kids' parents, but I don't think they are getting these lost kits in an ethical and moral way. Just a hunch. Either way, them bringing this particular litter of kittens into the clan is an absolute miracle. Spotted Kit is my absolute favorite from this entire playthrough. Spotted Kit is just the cutest and the best and the everything, and I love him so much. His siblings Frond Spirit and Hatch Freckle do literally nothing ever, but Spotted Kit, I love you. You are the main character of SpeedrunClan. Meanwhile, the same age as Spotted Kit and her siblings, Timberminnow gives birth to Boarsplash's kit, and they name him Rainbow Kit. Rainbow Kit number 2 looks strikingly like the first Rainbow Kit, so I'm not entirely against the theory that this is perhaps a reincarnation. That or Timber and Boar just really like rainbows. Speaking of Boarsplash, Boar got a bad case of frostbite after being outside too long in the snow. and his ears are completely frozen off, rendering him completely deaf and struggling to learn a form of cat sign language. Definitely puts a damper on being able to enjoy being a father to his son as he struggles to understand a silent world. At least Timberminnow is by his side. Meanwhile, Sunnyside finally finds herself able to move on from her grief. Poor gal. And then Sapdapple gets lured into a two-leg trap and goes missing. Let's hope we'll get to see her again and she's not lost forever. But guess what? Pondstar is back in business with more babies! 2 beautiful baby kits who will once more live to warriorhood. Aside from Duck Kit, all of Pondstar's kits live to adulthood. One of them is named Squirrelnut and the other is Blue Stripe. Squirrelnut is literally the best. She's a big doofus, a nut, but a wise nut. All this cuteness, but you remember what I told you to remember earlier? Okay, they just murdered the kits. I guess this clan is a little evil. Okay. Yep. 2 Ant Clan kits were playing on the border, and of course, I just see antagonize and click it, and Pondstar orders her patrol to murder the kittens. I was getting on Root and Prim's ass about kidnapping kits, when their leader is literally murdering them. So yeah, I guess the reason nobody cared that Springclaw killed Wild Silk or that Rootshade and Primfoot are stealing kittens is because this clan is actually evil. Straight up evil. They have been antagonizing the other clans and StarClan this entire time, so yeah, actually, the fact that they're a little bit evil at this point kind of tracks. I think SpeedrunClan has actually been the bad guys this entire time. The asshole of the 4 clans that nobody likes and that the other 3 clans all wish would stop coming to gatherings. And this is before any of the clans have even declared war on us yet. The kit killing is probably what does it in the future, though. But meanwhile, Rainbow Kit 2 is, apparently blind. Or mostly blind. Lavender Ripple checks their site and says that it's gone, so I guess Rainbow is blind then. So not only is his dad Borscht Splash deaf, but Rainbow Kit is blind and can't even see his tail signals. Now, even though we have just discovered that SpeedrunClan is evil and cruel, I like to believe that despite this, they are not that ableist, and that Boar and Rainbow will find a way to communicate with each other no matter what the other cats say. As for Timberminnow, the mom, well, I like to think she is a little less of a good parent. Not horrible, but perhaps not as involved as she could be to her deaf mate and blind son. We'll talk about this more in the future. Meanwhile, Nightingalepaw, Perch Roar's kit, is seen touching noses with a rogue. And then fights a rogue. The same rogue? Perhaps it's some young love drama and quarrel. On a patrol, Rootshade yells at her clanmates to stop bickering and focus on their star-damn jobs. At this point, I'm focusing a bit more on how the clan seems to operate, and yeah, this clan is a clan of assholes. Rootshade is a bit of a bully. Karen vibes here. And then war with Ant Clan is officially declared. You would have thought that they'd do that right after we murdered their kits, but I guess something else finally set them off. And only a moon or 2 into the war, both clans are already tired of it. But hey, we're assholes and you declared it, Ant Clan. Like, we're just gonna back off now. But I guess Fluff thinks we need to stop being assholes, because she decides to become a mediator. But please don't die immediately like our last mediator. You mean too much to me, Fluff. And then Spotted Kit, his siblings in Rainbow Kit 2 become apprentices. This is such an adorable apprentice group. I love it. As Nightingalepaw and his siblings are still senior apprentices at this time, and Nightingalepaw actually suffers some pretty bad injuries from a battle between SpeedrunClan and Ant Clan. I just really love how all of these guys are interact and are friends. But then Sapdapple finally returns from being lost. Yay, Sap baby, I missed you. I really thought she was just dead. And Sunnyside is expecting Miss Pelt's kits and ends up having a litter of 4. 3 have very cute names of Hopestem, Honeycone, and Skipnight, and then the 4th is, Mottlestripe. Very basic, but not the worst, I suppose. And then the war with Ant Clan ends. Ah, darn. Guess it was fun while it lasted. No deaths. Very surprising. But then Spotted Paw comes out as a girl, and I love her for it. She is just simply the best and the most prettiest cat ever, and the first thing she does is fight the Rat King. She and a bunch of her clanmates all suffer torn pelts after a fight with some rats on patrol. And then we go straight into war with Pansy Clan instead. The moon right after finishing war with Ant Clan and fighting the rats. That's a very eventful moon indeed. A sad one too. As Spotted Paw gets the message, Spotted Paw feels like she might be growing up too fast in the midst of war. Oh, Spotted Paw, you're going through your main character arc. Don't worry. Raised by evil kidnapping parents in a bloodthirsty, merciless clan, constantly at war, and you have pronouns. Meanwhile, Squirrel Paw and Blue Paw join the apprentice group. I mention this because Squirrel and Spotted are so cute together in the future. And also, this is like the main character era, so gotta keep track of it. Nightingale Paw and her siblings become warriors the moon after, named Nightingalegaze, Grey Meadow, Dawnseeker, Lowstep, and Fringe Whisker. Fringe is also a trans guy, so I imagine he helped Spotted Paw come out. Almond Paw is also the sole survivor of a litter Honeyfade had, and she decides to follow in her mom's footsteps and become a medicine cat too. Our current medicine cats are as follows: Lavender Ripple, Honeyfade, Bumbleslip, Aphidtooth, and Almond Paw. Guppycake was the only medicine cat to have died so far, emphasis on so far. Speaking of Honeyfade, Tornhawk, one of Fluff and Springclaw's kits, starts expecting kits and then confesses to Honeyfade, who rejects her. Now, this will not be the last time Tornhawk confesses to Honeyfade and then gets rejected. I didn't realize it, but Tornhawk has quite the story to tell, but I'll save that for the end of this 100 moons. The clan then kills a loner for fun. Well, I made them kill a loner, but come on, they're bloodthirsty. But then the war with Pansy Clan ends too, so I guess we murdered non-clan cats too hard and lost focus. Fluff attempts to resolve some leftover conflict, but utterly fails. Nice try though, Fluff. We love you regardless. But it seems our attack on outsiders hasn't gone unnoticed, as a gang of rogues attacks the clan, and one of Sapdapple and Mottledrump's kits, Rindlefreckle, dies. And so does poor Boarsplash. My boy. His death was definitely sad for me, poor boy. Rainbow Paw takes it especially hard. Timbermoon doesn't seem to mourn him, though. Coincidentally, next moon after Boarsplash's death, Timbermoon has thoughts about wondering if the clan is the place for her. Perhaps she's simply unhappy with clan life and the culture around her. But Spotted Paw becomes a warrior late at 14 moons, being named Spottedember, which is the coolest name ever, and why she is the main character ever. And then Fluff proceeds to die. I blame this entirely on her choosing to become a mediator. You don't become a mediator and live in this clan. She died to a snake bite, and I think she was well loved by the clan, so I don't think anyone secretly killed her. She was definitely one of my top favorites. Hopefully someone else in the clan will prove to be as good-hearted as her. Especially as we turn away Pansy Clan's medicine cat apprentice when they ask for herbs. We are cold-hearted without you, Fluff. After all, when we have cats like Rootshade and Primfoot calling the shots, we kill more cats. Despite our cruelty, clan life moves on, and Squirrel Paw becomes a warrior named Squirrelnut, and he and Spottedember officially become mates at 13 and 17 moons old respectively, and I am obsessed with them. They are so cute. I love them. And Rainbow Paw finally becomes a warrior at 18 moons old. His name is Rainbow Spots. This is such an adorable friend group, and I love them all so much. And then war against NimbleClan is declared. Considering we have one of their ex-warriors, Mapleback, this ought to be interesting. Mapleback is also expecting kids at this time, so I guess it conveniently leaves her out of fighting her own clan, but I get the vibe that NimbleClan and Pansy Clan are more of the kinder clans, while SpeedrunClan and Ant Clan are the fight-happy guys. Perchroar is expecting another litter, with Hushfade as the father. Hushfade is the son of Tornhawk from earlier and Wildsilk, you know, the cat who was murdered by Springclaw. This litter will only consist of Olive Fur, who will become a medicine cat. And do you remember Burger, the loner? Yeah, Burger shows back up in the middle of our war and asks to join the clan. We say sure, expecting her to help us fight, and she just immediately retires to the Elder's Den. Yeah, okay, sure, Burger. The first time we asked, you said no, and we actually met her a second time, and she also said no then, claiming the clan was too scary for her. A fair answer, to be fair. And now she just joins us to mooch off of us. What a purty move, except none of us love or respect her. And then many moons later, the war with NimbleClan finally ends. I believe this was our longest war yet. And I like to think this is because NimbleClan is smart and fast. They outsmarted and outlasted SpeedrunClan despite our name. Perhaps SpeedrunClan had to admit defeat for this one. And unlike with Pansy Clan, when NimbleClan asks for herbs afterwards, we actually give some to them. It seems like SpeedrunClan has grown to respect NimbleClan in a way. But it's interesting to see how our current generations of young cats have all grown up with the struggles and stress of war and constant fighting. Entering the 80 moons mark, the clan is reaching up to 40 members. Oddly enough, despite having mass extinctions on, I haven't gotten a lot, if any, for SpeedrunClan, especially compared to my other playthroughs, where mass extinctions had once decimated my entire clan. And to add to our numbers, Primfoot and Rootshade find another lost kitten, a singular one whom they name Swiftkit. I love his design, but this isn't distracting from the fact that they keep finding these lost litters. How many loner parents are they going to kill to keep having more kits? Why do you need so many kits? Just get a surrogate, you two. And then our beloved Sunnyside dies of green cough, going to join her brother Guppykick in StarClan. It was nice while you lasted, Sunnyside. And Bumbleslip the medicine cat dies as well to a snake. They were both kind-hearted she-cats, so it's sad to see them go. The clan mourns them both a lot. And then 3 cats get hit by a car immediately after. Yep, Faded Paw, the daughter of Tornhawk, Hushfade, also the son of Tornhawk, and Rainbow Spots. No, why must all the rainbows die? At least he and Boarsplash are reunited in StarClan. After this, on the next patrol, we meet a NimbleClan patrol, and good old Pondstar tries to taunt them, but they just stare at us disappointedly and move on, which makes Pondstar very embarrassed, which I think is really funny. I think the only reason we're kind of allies with NimbleClan is because they won't put up with our shit. Weirdly, I think that makes SpeedrunClan respect them. And hey, remember how I said mass extinction events weren't really happening? Well, now they are. Greencough claims the lives of Agavepaw, son of Tornhawk, Almond Blossom the medicine cat, and Lavender Ripple, our medicine cat since the very start, Pondstar's mate, Primfoot's ex-husband. The fact that 2 medicine cats died of Greencough is both funny and perhaps a sign that they worked so hard to keep the rest of the clan healthy that they didn't care for themselves. Goodbye, Lavender Ripple. I'll miss ya. That brings the total of deaths for that moon up to 6. And Squirrelnut and Skipnight in particular are shaken by it. I think the rest of the clan is pretty hardened to death, though. Primfoot then lies to a Pansy Clan patrol, but Mapleback tells the truth about a badger being nearby, and Pansy Clan gets upset at Primfoot. I think we have a lot more things to be upset at Primfoot about than just lying. Nightingalegaze has kits with Timberminnow, but they all die young, unfortunately. And it seems AntClan has grown wise to SpeedrunClan's kit-killing ways, as when Primfoot and her patrol attempt to kill 2 AntClan kits again, we are thwarted. We try to kill kits again? But seriously, why does AntClan keep letting their kits just roam around? At this point, it almost is their fault for doing something so clearly stupid when your neighbors are known kidnappers and murderers. Speaking of stolen kits, little Swiftkit becomes Swiftpaw. Let's see if this Swiftpaw makes it to Warriorhood, or Medicine Cathood, actually. And here comes another mass extinction event. Fringe Whisker, Mistpelt, Quiverkit, Blue Stripe, and Mottle Stripe all drown in a flood. And then Fruit Stripe, a forced medicine cat and the only survivor of Tornhawk's solo litter, dies of infection in his mangled tail after a tree fell on him. Another 6 deaths moon. And next moon is followed by the deaths of Carpclaw, one of Tornhawk's again, and Apprentice Beetlepaw. They're killed by rogues. And then on patrol, the rogues strike again, killing Hatchfreckle, newly named Beepaw, and Greymeadow. The deaths are coming fast and hard now. Gotta cool down the numbers, it seems. Then Nightingalegaze comes out as non-binary. Good for them. We needed some fun news after all this dreary death. They discover an abandoned kit, and unlike with Prim and Root, I actually believe them, who is sick, and bring Hootkit back to camp, where he's nursed back to health. Hootkit then immediately dies to Greencough anyway, alongside Honeycone, Oakclash, and Crocusfur. Our numbers are going down fast. Oh, and Swiftpaw died too, but of Whitecough. Guess he won't be getting his full name either. And his sprite was so cute too. This brings this moon's death count up to 8, the highest yet. Perchroar is said to be especially shaken by this. Don't worry, Perch, your time is coming soon, too. But 12-moon-old Pansypaw dies to a dog first, before she can receive her warrior name. And Tornhawk's crush, Honeyfade, confesses to Sapdapple, and the 2 gals get together. And then Primfoot retires. It's almost weird to think that this kid-stealing, mate-cheating, murderous drama queen is now a simple elder. Well, probably not simple. Who knows what story she's telling the kits. Hopestem, Sunnyside's kits, then join Spottedember and Squirrelnut in a poly relationship after Squirrelnut fights off a dog and brags about it. These 3 are the cutest to me. And now we finally hit the last few moons. Just to showcase how crazy it is, here's Moon 98. Get ready for a very tired reaction. Oh, we have a big death count. Downseeker, Oliver, Rootshade, Perchroar. Yeah, 9 deaths from a badger attack of all things, including a lot of big names like Timberminnow, Perchroar, and Rootshade, the deputy. Our big bad girly, dead. And who, of all cats, replaces her as deputy? Spottedember is now deputy. Hell yeah. That's right. Our main character extraordinaire, Spottedember. Spottedember, the adoptive daughter of Primfoot and Rootshade. Of all cats, I did not expect her, but I am obsessed with this choice now. Now the question is whether or not she'll follow in her mother's footsteps, or if she'll be the better cat SpeedrunClan needs. And now, it's time. 100 moons, baby. We did it. Let's go! Right. Here it is. The last moon. Pondstar no longer has green cough. Sapdapple is no longer bruised. Tornhawk has no shock. No runny nose. Nightingale has a twisted limb. Buzzardhusk's tail was badly injured by a fox. And the herb supply is low. And this is how many cats. We have 16 cats left. You guys, this is crazy. I did not expect to have so much fun forcing myself to get through these 100 moons. You can tell how the tiredness overtakes me near the end here. Just the relief that it's over. Going back through everything and picking up the tiny details I missed turned the story into something even cooler, and I love it. So now that we're at 100 moons, let's go through our remaining cats and learn about what they've been through. First off, our leader, Pondstar. Yep, she's still alive after everything, and she only lost one life to a dog attack. She's now 142 moons old, the oldest in the clan. Her traits are playful and learner of lore, but generally I think she's become a rather bitter and masochistic cat, with a very snobby attitude towards the other clans, considering she has ordered the deaths of ant clan kits before and has been seen taunting the other clans. Her mate was Lavender Ripple, the medicine cat, and they had 8 kits over the course of 3 litters: Duck Kit, Oak Clash, Wild Silk, Honeyfade, Stump Moss, Timber Minnow, Squirrelnut, and Blue Stripe. She mentored 4 cats, her own kid Stump Moss, Sunnysight, Carpclaw, and Nightingalegaze. She appointed her mate's ex-affair partner, Rootshade, as deputy, which was either a power play or she didn't care about the fact that Prim and Root cheated on their partners. Next is our deputy, Spottedember. Spottedember was born to Faith the Loner alongside Frond Spirit and Hatch Freckle, but their young 16-moon-old mother was, presumably, murdered by Primfoot and Rootshade so that the couple could raise Spottedember and her siblings as their own. Her other adoptive siblings are Aphidtooth, Crocusfur, Rainbow Kit, Swiftpaw, and also Timber Minnow. Timber Minnow considers Primfoot her mother, despite her having cheating on her father, Lavender Ripple, so Timber classifies it as Spottedember's adoptive sister. Spottedember was born a tom, but came out as a she-cat during her apprenticeship. She was mentored by Carpclaw and mentored Skipnight. Her current traits are childish, lorekeeper, and good climber, and she was influenced by Carpclaw to defend her beliefs, socialize less, remember history, and she was honored for her determination. She graduated late at 14 moons at Moon 76 and is currently 38 moons old, and mates with Squirrelnut and Hopestem. The scar on her side is from a battle with a rat king. Honeyfade is our senior medicine cat. Honeyfade is from Pondstar and Lavender Ripple's first litter, so her litter mates are Duck Kit, Oak Clash, Wild Silk, and Stump Moss, and her younger siblings are Timber Minnow, Squirrelnut, and Blue Stripe. She is currently 87 moons old and graduated late at 16 moons old on Moon 29. Her traits are ambitious and beloved kit-sitter. She was mentored by her father, Lavender Ripple, and, despite Lavender having a more stoic personality, became more social, yet a big rule follower who doesn't want to break the status quo. She was honored for her bravery, and she mentored almost every following medicine cat after her: Guppy Kick, Bumbleslip, Aphidtooth, Almond Blossom, Swiftpaw, and Olive Fur. She was mates with Snailbeak, but he died, and Honeyfade didn't get into another relationship for a long time, despite many cats crushing on her, like Tornhawk. Eventually, she developed feelings for Sapdapple and became mates with her. Before that, strangely, she had a litter with a parent from another clan, consisting of Almond Blossom, Shrub Kit, and Chive Kit. Seems being a medicine cat must run in the family. She's very amicable, holding many strong friendships, and the only cat she ever hated is, apparently, Tricklestock, with a strong passion, for some reason. Perhaps he wasn't as good a mediator as we think. She also has chronic joint pain, a permanent condition. Aphidtooth is our second surviving medicine cat. She was born to the loner Shining alongside her littermates Rainbow Kit and Crocusfur, and was the first litter to be stolen by Primfoot and Rootshade. She was much closer to Rootshade than Primfoot. Her older adoptive sibling is Timberminnow through Primfoot, and her younger adoptive siblings are Spottedember, Fawnspirit, Hatchfreckle, and Swiftpaw. Her traits are confident and eloquent speaker, and she is currently 45 moons, and graduated late at 17 moons on Moon 72. She was mentored by Honeyfade, who influenced her to avoid violence but be better at arguing. She was honored for her initiative. She mentored Beetlepaw, who died. The only cat she ever had a crush on was Sunnyside, and it seems this isn't an unpopular opinion, as a lot of cats seem to have crushes on Sunnyside, including Tornhawk and Conefern later. Sapdapple is our senior warrior at 105 moons old. She has been a kit from the very, very start, and she and Pondstar are the only two founders still alive. Her traits are troublesome, unnatural senses, and good storyteller, and she was mentored by former Deputy Ashskip, who influenced her to calm others down and follow the rules more, as well as notice little details. She became a warrior early at 11 moons on Moon 6, and was honored for her flexibility. She was previously mates with Strawspeckle and Mottledrump before she was captured by Two Legs, and had a litter with Mottledrump consisting of Stagblur, Rindlefreckle, Bumbleslip, and Cedarpaw. She eventually returned to the clan and would earn 2 scars, one before her capture and one after, a cheek scar from a fight and half of her tail cut off from a falling tree. She mentored Tornhawk. Overall, she seems like she stuck to her troublemaking roots and has always been outgoing, yet oddly level-headed. Mapleback was formerly a NimbleClan warrior, having abandoned her own clan over a transgression. She joined at 39 moons old and is now 96 moons old. Her traits are righteous and fast runner. She earned a scar on her neck from a snake bite she survived. I think that's pretty hardcore of her. She mentored Hushfade and influenced him to be more cold towards others, follow the rules, and be resilient. I imagine she was a pretty strict mentor. She was mates with Wildsick before his death, and did not appear to have a close attachment to him, as she did not have a strong reaction to his murder, nor the fact that he had kits with another cat while they were together. She went on to have a litter alone, consisting of Pansypaw, Beetlepaw, and Buzzardhusk. She isn't overly close to Buzzardhusk, but seems to care for him, though he does appear to be her least favorite kit. Perhaps her more cold nature is why she left NimbleClan. Mottledrump is from the litter I told you not to get attached to. Well, I lied. He's a proud warrior now, at 93 moons old. He's the son of Fluff and Springclaw, and his littermates are Gardenia Paw and Auburnkit, and his younger siblings are Snailbeak, Tornhawk, Forest Fur, Whisker Rapid, Conefern, Spikepelt, Thrift and Boresplash. He has the cold trait, which I think he gained from his littermates' young deaths. But he's also an incredible runner and a great teacher, which shows as he's had 4 apprentices, including 2 of his younger siblings, Snailbeak, Conefern, Greymeadow, and Buzzardhusk. He was mentored by his mother, Springclaw, who influenced Mottledrump into making more impulsive decisions. Mottledrump was honored for his caution when he graduated at 13 moons old on Moon 20. He was mates with Strawspeckle and Sapdapple, but after Straw's death and Sap going missing, he remained single for a long time until he and Oakclash caught feelings and became mates, though Oakclash would die as well. Also important to note that Oakclash was also mates with Mottledrump's sister, Tornhawk, at the same time. With Sapdapple, he had 4 kits, Stagblur, Rindlefreckle, Bumbleslip, and Cedarpaw. Curiously, when Sapdapple returned from being lost, she and Mottledrump did not get back together, despite them both being single at the time. It seemed their feelings had mutually faded, and now it is time for the aforementioned Tornhawk. Oh gosh, Tornhawk. Where do we even start? Tornhawk is from Fluff and Springclaw's second litter, so her older siblings are Mottledrump, Gardenia Paw, and Auburnkit. Her littermates are Snailbeak, Forest Fur, and Whisker Rapid, and her younger siblings are Conefern, Spikepelt, Thriftroach, and Boresplash. She is currently 83 moons old. Her traits are nervous, very clever, and good storyteller. Sapdapple was her mentor, who influenced her to step out of her comfort zone and make her own rules, which I think Tornhawk took a little too much to heart. Despite being honored for her forethought, I don't think Tornhawk actually has much of it. She graduated at the usual 12 moons on Moon 29. The moon before that, Tornhawk suffered from frostbite in the cold, and it hit her ears and nose, destroying their nerves. She can still hear, but her ears are both sensitive and lack feeling, and she can't smell properly. Through her time spent healing, she bonded with Guppykick, the medicine cat apprentice, and they would become mates. Despite this, I can't help but wonder if Tornhawk's eyes were truly just for Guppykick, or if Tornhawk actually only got close to Guppykick to be closer to Honeyfade, Guppykick's mentor. Because it seems like Tornhawk holds a lot more romantic and platonic love for Honeyfade than for Guppykick. I think Tornhawk developed a lot of admiration and respect for Honeyfade while she was treating Tornhawk, which over time would grow into something like an obsession. Her relationship with Guppykick seemed thin off as she neglected giving her attention to her mate, and Tornhawk proceeded to get pregnant with another Tom's kits, Wild Silk. Not only was Tornhawk mates with Guppykick, but Wildsilk was also mates with Mapleback, yet neither of them seemed to actually hold feelings for the other, seeing as Tornhawk doesn't blink when Wildsilk is murdered. I think Guppykick breaks up with Tornhawk around this time, which Tornhawk seems to see as a chance to confess to Honeyfade while she's still pregnant. Honeyfade rejects her, and Tornhawk gives birth to 2 kits, Carpclaw and Hushfade. And it's not lost on me that Honeyfade and Hushfade's names are so similar. Perhaps Tornhawk requested Hushfade's suffix. In-game, Tornhawk would confess and get rejected by Honeyfade again, but I think Tornhawk does this a lot, and Honeyfade always just tries to politely reject her. Meanwhile, because Tornhawk's love life is a literal shit show, she becomes mates with Oaklash, who is mates with her brother at the time, but then she has another litter, this time being sired by a cat from outside the clans, instead of her mate again. 3 kits, Fruitstripe, Faded Paw, again with the Fade thing, and a Gave Paw. As of right now, Tornhawk is single and way too fucking ready to mingle. Her obsession with Honeyfade is reaching Ashfur levels, you guys. Honeyfade also holds a small amount of dislike for Tornhawk, and a very little like. And this is saying something because Honeyfade holds a lot of love for nearly all of her other clanmates. Aside from that, Tornhawk mentored Downseeker and Faded Paw, and she influenced them to be more likely to bicker. I can see why. She also lost her tail to a fox. I think she might be taking after her mother, Springclaw, who murdered Wildsilk for literally no reason. Moving on, Conefern is our next warrior. He is from Fluff and Springclaw's 4th litter, meaning his older siblings are, here we go again, Gardenia Paw, Auburn Kit, Mottledrump, Snailbeak, Tornhawk, Forest Fur, Whisker Rapid, and his litter mates are Spikepelt and Thriftroach, and Boarsplash is his younger brother. Conefern is a very simple and easy warrior, thanks to our clan, after the absurdity that is Tornhawk. Conefern is 67 moons old currently, and his traits are troublesome, very clever, and good mediator. He was mentored by his older brother Mottledrump, who influenced him to be more likely to bend the rules and use violence over words, yet also helped him become better at solving problems. Okay, I guess if your problem is murdering kits, and the answer is yes. But he became a warrior at 12 moons old on moon 45 and was honored for his wit. Keeping with the parent tradition, he mentored his younger brother Boarsplash after his previous mentor, Thriftroach, died. He was mates with Sunnysight before her death. I wonder if Conefern is perhaps infertile or similar, as Sunnysight had kits with Misspelt, but there doesn't seem to be any hard feelings, and Conefern calls the kits his own. It was a litter of 4 consisting of Mottlestripe, named after his big bro perhaps, Skipnight, Honeycomb, and Hopestem. He seems to be a good dad and has strong relationships with his kits. Beloved Nightingalegaze is the child of Perchroar, with deceased littermates Fringewhisker, Greymeadow, Lowstep, and Downseeker, and younger half-sibling Olivefur, whose father is Hushfade. Nightingalegaze views Hushfade as their own father, too. Nightingalegaze is currently 42 moons old and grew up during a time when wars were rampant. They were mentored by Pondstar, so I imagine the pressure was really on for them to be just as violent and bloodlusty and strong as the rest of the clan. Their traits are adventurous, great climber, and valuable insight. And Pondstar influenced them to break rules that don't suit them and to be resilient. They were honored for their fearlessness and graduated late at 15 moons on moon 73, I imagine because Pondstar held high expectations for them. If not for the fact that they hadn't had an apprentice yet, I almost wonder if Pondstar would have made them deputy instead of Spottedember, considering their traits about good insight. They were born a Tom, but came out as non-binary as a warrior, and they became mates with Timberminnow briefly and had a litter of 3 kits with her. Quiverkit, Moonpaw, and Fuzzkit, all of whom died young, and so did Timberminnow. This likely deeply affected Nightingalegaze, but I imagine they are pushing their emotions away to keep up appearances. Their leg was also just mangled at a 2-leg trap on moon 100, twisting it, so that's another thing weighing their poor mind down. Poor Nightingalegaze. It really isn't going great for them. Squirrelnut is from Pondstar and Lavender Ripple's last litter, their littermate being Bluestripe and their older siblings being Duckkit, Oaklash, Wildsilk, Honeyfade, Stumpmoss, and Timberminnow. She is currently 34 moons old and in a sapphic poly relationship with Spottedember and Hopestem. Her traits are wise, valuable insight, and good teacher, and she was mentored by Lowstep. She graduated at 13 moons old on moon 79 and was honored for her understanding. I imagine Squirrelnut is kind of a silly cat who likes to crack jokes and poke fun of others lightly, which makes others think she isn't all that serious or smart, but she really is very wise and knowledgeable. I think Spottedember has grown a little more jaded over time, and I think Squirrelnut is there to try and mellow her out and get her to relax. Squirrelnut, I think, was also the one to fall for Hopestem and suggest bringing her into the relationship after seeing Spottedember getting flustered by Hopestem's kindness. Hopestem is the daughter of Sunnysight and Conefern, with Misspelt being her biological surrogative father. She resembles Misspelt a lot, though, so I think she tried to have a stronger relationship with Misspelt before his death. Her siblings are Mottlestripe, Skipnight, and Honeycomb. She's currently 29 moons old, and her traits are charismatic, den builder, and a great mediator. She was mentored by Honeyfade, who made her resilient and better at caring for the camp. She graduated at 12 moons on moon 83 and was honored for her charisma. I think she's a very kind and genuine soul, caring for even the tiniest things, a stark contrast to the rest of her clan. She also had a childhood crush on Bluestripe and became mates with him. But Bluestripe died when their relationship was still young, and Hopestem was devastated. She sought solace in Bluestripe's sister, Squirrelnut, as they both mourned his death. I think they grew close during this, and Squirrelnut started to fall in love with her shy smiles and bubbly laughter, and how diligent she would care for the camp as though it was a living thing too. I like to think Hopestem had a little crush on Spottedember first, finding how the young and new deputy tried to keep things running smoothly and orderly, endearing. She was likely shocked to be asked to be mates with them, perhaps a bit hesitant to rush anything and ruin their friendship too, but she accepted, knowing that she can learn to love the two romantically. I think she's often nervous to mess something up, though, and often steps over her own paws to try and appease them, but Spottedember and Squirrelnut always reassure her she doesn't have to be perfect for them. She's also probably equally as worried as Squirrelnut that Spottedember is stressing out and overworking herself. Aside from her adorable love life, she also briefly mentored Swiftball before he became a medicine cat, and I think she took his death hard, too. Skipnight is Hopestem's sister, so just rinse and repeat what I said earlier. Her parents are Sunnyside, Conefern, and Misspelt, and her littermates are Hopestem, Mottlestripe, and Honeycomb. She's 29 moons old, and her traits are nervous but formidable fighter, which I think is an interesting combination. She was mentored by Spottedember, and I think since Spottedember was barely older than her by 9 moons, Spottedember actually struggled a bit with maintaining her authority versus a friendship with Skipnight. They don't appear to have a strong relationship at all, so I wonder if Spottedember perhaps tried too hard to be a serious mentor. Still, Spottedember influenced Skipnight to break away from the status quo, defend her beliefs, and to be social. She was honored for her insights when she graduated at 12 moons on moon 83. She was mates with Frostspirit, who died only this past moon on 99. She's not grieving his loss, though, so I think Skipnight mostly just feels lonely. She doesn't really seem to have any friends, except for Tornhawk. Buzzardhusk is our youngest warrior and cat in the clan in general at 17 moons old. He is currently injured too, but so far it is not a permanent scar. Buzzardhusk's mother is Mapleback, and his littermates were Pansypaw and Beetlepaw. Pansypaw died right before they were supposed to become warriors together, so I think this left him quite shocked, especially since Beetlepaw's death was probably still raw. His traits are troublesome and incredible runner, and his mentor was Mottledrump, who influenced him to be more cold towards others and use violence over words. Again, Mottledrump again. He graduated, alone, at 12 moons on moon 95, and was honored for his dignity. He then immediately had to mentor an apprentice, Moonpaw, and I imagine he was not quite ready for it at all, still grieving his sister. But I think he tried, and unlike with Spottedember and Skipnight, he and Moonpaw became good friends instead of a more traditional mentor-apprentice relationship. But this only meant that when Moonpaw died suddenly, Buzzardhusk was left hollow and lonely. I think he had kind of shut down at this point, growing jaded, sad, and quiet. He grew up after the wars, but during a time when death was rampant, dragging the clan down from a bustling hive of activity to a meager 16 cats. I think death is starting to become numb to him. After him and Skipnight, this is starting to get very depressing. Thankfully, Primfoot is next. Ah, good old Primfoot. Primsy. If we thought Tornhawk was a lot of Drummel, then she's got nothing on Primfoot. Prim joined the clan at 61 moons old on moon 22. ClanGen says that something terrible made her leave her old home behind, and we might not know what that is, but whatever it was, I almost wonder if it was more of Prim's fault than what she would lead others to believe. Primfoot was almost too quick to join the clan and take a clan name, in my opinion. She is currently 139 moons old and an elder. Her traits are righteous and unnatural senses, which I think fits her a lot. I think Primfoot is the kind of cat to think she's never in the wrong and that everything she does is for the greater good in the end. She currently has a permanent condition of a weak leg and has had it for 47 moons, which meant she was a warrior for a long time despite her weak leg. She mentored many apprentices, including Forestfur, Timberminnow, Fringewhisker, Gavepaw, and Pansypaw. It says she encouraged Forestfur to heed their anger and to be calm, so I think Primfoot really prided herself and others on being calm, collected, and calculated, and to be proper and mannerly, which is almost ironic considering all of the murdering and kidnapping and taunting she does. Let's start off from when she joined the clan. She pretty quickly became mates with Lavender Ripple, I imagine because she was purposely getting close to him since he was a medicine cat and therefore in a position of power, and he was easily smitten by her attention despite already having a mate. But whatever the case, Pondstar had no issue with Lavender dating Primfoot, though Pond and Prim were never in a relationship with each other. Pondstar and Lavender Ripple at the time had Timberminnow, and Primfoot was quick to become a parental figure for Timberminnow, which was only more firmly solidified as Timber was given to Prim as an apprentice. Now, a lot of Primfoot's kids seem to be rather depressed or stressed out in some way, but she was also had very strong relationships in game with them. So I get the impression that Primfoot was very much an over-controlling parent, but one who gave a lot of overbearing love. Like, smothered her kits in it, but only so she could use it as a threat. If they didn't do what she wanted, she would stop loving them, and of course they wouldn't want that. Timber Minnow, I think, was the first and perhaps strongest case of this, as Prim wasn't even her primary parent at first, but quickly it seems like Timber did everything for Primfoot's approval. I think this definitely affected Timber Minnow later in life, as Timber was often detached from her mates and family, and thought about leaving the clan often. I think Timber was either jealous when Primfoot moved on to her other kids, or that Timber realized Primfoot didn't really love her in a genuine way, and it depressed her. What a great mom you are, Primfoot. And she's not a great mate either, as she cheated on Lavender Ripple for Rootshade. I think Primfoot might have genuinely fallen for Rootshade a bit. Rootshade was a very daring and aggressive cat, and just as ambitious as Primfoot. I think Rootshade was persuaded by Primfoot's business-like attitude and charming facade, and both of them agreed they wanted to rise to power together and build a bigger, better, stronger clan. So Prim cheated on Lavender, and Root cheated on Oaklash. When they got found out, I think Oaklash broke up with Rootshade, but Primfoot made sure she was the one breaking up with Lavender Ripple, which probably pissed him off. Either way, Prim and Root were now officially together and quickly made themselves a power couple, almost flaunting off how in love they were. And I think Primfoot is the one who likes to use kits to gain power. When she raises her kits, she raises them to love and respect and need her, and, most importantly, follow her. It gives her power and influence in the clan. But of course, she and Rootshade can't biologically have kits together, and I think neither of them want to be pregnant either, so the next best thing, of course, logically, is to murder some parents and steal their kits. So Prim and Root will go on to murder 3 different loner or kitty pet mothers and take their kittens, resulting in 3 litters raised by both of them, including Rainbow Kit, Aphidtooth, Crocus Fur, Fawn Spirit, Hatch Freckle, Spottedember, and Swiftpaw. Just like with Timber Minnow, I think Primfoot smothered them with love only to take it away when they misbehaved, and she taught them to be very prim and proper. I think Rootshade might have been a more genuine parent, as I get the vibe that Rootshade almost has the endless energy of a kit. I think Rootshade enjoyed playing with them as kits, but would grow less close to them as they grew up, as she doesn't know how to handle their emotions like Primfoot does. Now, after Ashkip's death, Rootshade became deputy, which was pretty surprising considering you think Root and Pondstar would have bad blood. But I almost wonder if Primfoot and Pondstar were almost kind of friends, because of course Primfoot would try to be close to the leader as well, though I think Pondstar was always just too closed off for Primfoot to get too close. I think Pondstar maybe didn't care too much about the whole relationship drama and just happened to choose Rootshade. Whatever the case, Primfoot and Rootshade were ecstatic. They were working their way up the ladder. I truly think Primfoot is the one pulling the strings here too. I think SpeedrunClan became a lot more openly aggressive with Rootshade as deputy and Primfoot being almost like a second deputy. And I think Pondstar let it happen and even encouraged it in some aspects. Killing kits became the norm, and war raised an entire generation of young warriors. I think Primfoot retired because she was content where the clan was. It was the way she wanted it. Her mate in power, the clan striving to be in control and powerful and fearless. On the contrary, I think Pondstar is unhappy with how the clan is. I think she wishes it was back to the days where it was just her and the founders, but I think Primfoot has always been whispering in her ear a little, especially after the death of Lavender Ripple. So when Rootshade died, which probably did devastate Primfoot genuinely, Pondstar made Spottedember deputy because Spottedember was Primfoot's daughter. And I think Primfoot is really putting the pressure on Spottedember to keep the clan powerful and feared, while Spottedember secretly wishes for the opposite. Wow, Mom of the Year award there, Primfoot. You really are evil. And I think she is going to be very shocked when she dies and wakes up in the dark forest. Oof, all of that, and then there's Burger. God, Burger, we fucking hate you, Burger. Why are you even here? Burger refused to join the clan twice because it was too scary. I think Burger doesn't want to fight or get hurt, which is why she only joined when she was too old to be considered able to fight in wars. We met Burger pretty early on, and based on her history description, I think she got abandoned by her 2 legs or lost them and was left in the forest and didn't know how to survive. So she approached the clan, but the description sounded scary and hard, and she decided to learn how to hunt and survive on her own, which she managed. Good for her. And I think the second time the clan saw her and offered her to join, they had gotten even worse, and even though Burger had been thinking about it, it now sounded too terrifying at all, so she left and lived a content loner life. But then I think she started to grow old and was losing the ability to hunt well for herself, so she finally joined the clan, only to immediately request retirement so she didn't have to lift a paw. I think she's still a little scared of the clan, but that she's realized that when you're on the inside of the clan, they aren't quite as murderous towards each other, save for that one murder nobody ever talks about. So now she just chills and reaps the rewards of being an elder without having to do anything. She probably thinks Primfoot is weird, though. So I guess maybe we don't hate you, Burger. She finessed the system, and we gotta respect that. It's really cool to see how the clan has changed over time. I think the founders started out pretty eager and ready to make their mark as a clan of the forests. They were quick to establish themselves, hence the name SpeedrunClan in universe. But I think over time the need to prove themselves and keep their borders firmly held led them to become aggressive and possessive of what's theirs. Lacking a care towards what was outside of their borders, they accepted people in but kind of gave off the vibes that they would never let you out. And it's really cool to see the aftermath of the wars and the mass extinction events. The younger generation is less bloodthirsty, a lot more scared, as they've witnessed firsthand what death can do. That battle isn't just glory like their predecessors said. I really wonder if Spottedember, Squirrelnut, and Hopestem can turn this clan onto a brighter path. Oh my god. That was way too much. Why did I write so much?